independent. You know it. You love it. You can't live without it. Rockland World Radio.
Hello, welcome back to an exciting edition of Twerking 9 to 5. I am your host, Khumbo. Coming to you in black and white this week. No color for me. I have enough already. So, let's begin with weekly insights on things that I find on the internet. So, yesterday, an article came out written by Jessica Valenti of The Guardian about Instagram and the fact that Instagram had taken down a particular artist's, I think it was self-portrait of a particular artist. Her name is Rupi Kaur, and this self-portrait showed a little bit of her menstrual blood, and Instagram took down this entire post, said it was inappropriate, it's against their rules and regulations, whatever. They took it down. Anyways, Jessica Valenti wrote this very interesting article about the sanitization of women on social media and the fact that the images that we're being fed of women online and, on television are all of these women who are basically cleaned up. They have no visible body hair, they don't fart or do anything else that women and humans do. So it was this entire interesting article about how we see all these images of half-naked women on social media, in our movies, in our television shows, like women scantily clad, and that's okay. It's okay for us to see these images of sexualized women, but it's not okay to see images of human women, of women who are just being themselves and who are just being human and doing human things and have like normal bodily functions, which I completely agree with. The portrayal of women in the media is something that I am very passionate about, and a lot of women that I know and a lot of women that I talk to are just as passionate about this as well. And the fact that these images of women are not really in any way protecting or empowering young women or older women, that these images are actually protecting a lot of the men who are behind so many social media companies from the reality of women. It makes no sense to be showing certain images of women to not only our young women, but our young men who then grow up and, God forbid, date an actual woman and she has body hair, and all of a sudden they're like, what's happening here? It's detrimental to everyone, not just our women, but to our men as well. So that is my weekly insight into things happening. If you would like to read that article, you can Google it. It's on The Guardian. The author's name is Jessica Valenti, and it is a great article. So I would encourage everyone, men and women alike, to go and read this article. I love it. It was great. Made me think about a lot of things. I'm sure it will spur a lot of discussions at your tables and on social media, which is always what we hope for. And on to exciting news. Trevor Noah is taking over The Daily Show, which I am so excited about because I think that Trevor Noah is a great comedian and I've been following his career for a very long time. My brother and I are obsessed with him. We can sit around and watch Trevor Noah for hours and hours, and we've done it. So he's taking over The Daily Show, and obviously there is a lot of backlash about it. One of the biggest articles that I read was about the fact that apparently late night is being taken over by foreigners. Like, this whole thing is like, this could go to like hardworking American comedians to host one of these shows, and instead we have two British guys and then this like South African guy hosting late night television. Which, okay, I'm not saying that American comedians aren't funny. They're hilarious. Of course, American comedians are hilarious. But I do agree with some aspects of this article that said that the great thing about having show hosts or like hosts that are from different countries is that they therefore bring a different perspective, that there's maybe something that these comedians can bring to the table that homegrown American comedians are perhaps not seeing or not able to see, and I completely agree with that. Also, I really don't think that for the most part there's going to be a lot of shifts. I mean, James Corden is a great host, but he hasn't so far said anything really crazy or like politically charged about America. So it's going to be interesting to see what Trevor Noah does, because almost all of his acts are, something to do with like politics or race, and then he has like weird things in there about tacos. So I'm very much looking forward to Trevor Noah taking over the show. Also, since I don't understand this whole like foreigners are taking over TV thing. There are so many British actors who have been on American television and vice versa for years now, so it makes absolutely no sense. Also, the fact that one of America's biggest exports is its entertainment. I mean, you guys have been Columbusing our hearts and minds across the pond for years now. It's time for someone from an African country to Columbus you, okay? That's all I'm saying. Let's just put that out there. So I was on the bus the other day. Well, I was waiting for the bus the other day. And public transport in Nyack is very interesting because the bus has a schedule online. It's all very clear-cut, and you can download it, you can have it on your phone and everything. And the schedule says one thing, but the bus seems to have its own schedule that really only special people get to find out about. So now that I've been taking the bus for a very long time, it's always 25 minutes late. So that's my little secret to you, is that if you live in Nyack and you're trying to take the bus and the schedule says it arrives at 4 o'clock, it really arrives at 4:25. That is the truth. So I just don't get it. It's like it's always late, and the driver has absolutely no regard for the fact that he's 25 minutes late. It's just like, well, I'm here. So either you get on or you don't. And it's like, oh, okay. It kind of makes me nostalgic for being at home. At least in Malawi, there are a lot of things that are wrong. It's like, yeah, there's not always electricity and there are floods right now, but at least there are 10 different buses going to your location every 5 minutes. At least I can hop on a little minibus and get there no matter what. There are people haggling to get my money, but here it's like, well, I've got this one bus option, and if it's late, I'm screwed. And there's no real accountability because there's just the one company, right? I got on the bus not yesterday, but a couple of weeks ago, I got on the bus and, you can push the button that says, stop requested or pull on the thing. So I got on the bus and 5 minutes in, that stop requested button had gone off at least 10 times. And the bus driver is starting to get really, really annoyed. And finally, he is so annoyed because he thinks that someone is playing with him. He thinks these two kids in the back of the bus are screwing around with him. So he stops the bus in front of this Chinese takeout place and refuses to drive us anywhere else. He just stops and he gets off the bus and he's like, I'm not going anywhere else. He's like, I'm gonna call my supervisor. I'm not going anywhere else. And here's this bus filled with at least 20 people trying to get to the train or trying to get home, or I was trying to get to rehearsal, but other people were trying to get home, other people were trying to get to work. We're stopped there 5 minutes into our journey, and he refuses to do anything about it. People go out there, they're trying to talk to him, they're trying to coddle him. I'm pretty sure a woman offered him candy. People were trying to get to where they needed to go. But he just wouldn't budge. He was gonna wait for his supervisor, who was at least an hour away. So we're sitting there on this bus for an hour. And I'm like, this would never happen back in Malawi because 5 other buses would come by and you would just get off the bus and get onto the other one. But I'm there, thinking that I'm greater than I am, and saying to myself and the people around me, like, this is ridiculous, like, we should totally do something, let's start a revolution. Well, not exactly in those words, but in my head I was like, let's start a revolution. And I, march out there, and I'm talking to this guy, and I'm trying to give him a piece of my mind, thinking everyone else is gonna rally around me, and no one really rallied, no one really rallied around me. So I was kind of just on my own out there trying to reason with this bus driver, and nothing really happened, which is fun times. I really thought that everyone would rally around me. And then the same day, I got on the train coming back to Nyack, and a woman got on the train, and she hadn't bought a ticket. And so the conductor comes by, and she's like, tickets please, and this woman is like, well, I don't have a ticket. And the conductor says to her, well, that's fine, you can buy a ticket here on the train, but it's, I don't know, $10 more expensive or something. This woman goes off, cannot believe that it's this expensive, doesn't want to buy the ticket. And so again, for another hour, we are stalled on this train because this woman doesn't want to pay the higher fare because she didn't get her ticket beforehand, because she didn't plan her life well, so she has to inconvenience the rest of us. And I'm sitting there thinking there needs to be a 3-strike rule, like if you're not willing to pay for your ticket within 5 minutes, they either need to like call the cops, or if the conductor is burly enough, like they need to kick you off the train, because you can't be like waiting there for anyone. Again, like if this happened back home, we would just kick the person off the bus. And I know like someone is gonna be like, oh my gosh, is that what happens in your African country? It should happen in every country. If you're not willing to buck up and just go, I don't know. It seemed really weird. She was trying to haggle with the conductor. You can't haggle when the prices, like the rules are set, the prices are there, pay the price, or just leave. Instead of like holding everyone else up. It's like, yeah, there really should be some kind of like, I don't know, mob justice thing about people who hold other people up on public transport. Like, you should just be able to get kicked off that train or that bus and not inconvenience anyone else. Because seriously. But no one rallied, so it was really just me thinking this, or like mumbling in a corner about the fact that we should just like kick this woman off the train so that the rest of us can get going. Which, wouldn't happen back home. I remember back in boarding school, I was in Form 1, so I was only about 11 or 12, and I was walking back from dinner with my friends, and a fight had broken out in another part of the school. My friends and I are walking back to the girls' hostels, and this random girl, we didn't know her. She runs up to us, and she's like, oh my gosh, there's a fight going on at the pavilion or whatever. Go, go, and go, which basically means go there. And we just started running. My friends and I just started running, and we're chanting, go, go, and go. Go, 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 go. And, we rallied and we went to see this fight. People that we had no idea about, but we kind of just went. And I'm not saying that that's what we should do here, but, rallying can be fun. I mean, I also did it because I was 11 or 12 and didn't really know better, but, that's my little rant about public transportation in New York. It's fun times. But yeah, those are my insights about all of the great things that have happened this week. If you have any great opinions about public transport wherever it is that you live, I love hearing great horror stories about public transport. So let me know on Twitter. You can follow me or tweet at me at @OneGirlRevolution. That's the number 1, girl, G-U-R-L, revolution. Also, any other exciting things that you would like for me to talk about either next week or in coming shows. I am always willing to take requests. But yeah, let me know how you feel about Trevor Noah and about this whole Instagram and tampon and period thing. Just let me know your thoughts on all of these interesting and great and funny things that are happening in the world. Again, you can follow me at OneGirlRevolution. That's the number 1, G-U-R-L, Revolution. Thank you so much for tuning in to Twerking 9 to 5. I will be back next week at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com